my goodness, the legend just goes on.
He's going to throw for Julio. Touchdown, Atlanta!
They bring 4. Pressure.
And down he goes, Von Miller! And it is intercepted by Patrick Peterson.
Green has it inside the 5 and takes it into the end zone.
The 2011 draft class is without question one of the best talent pools of all time. 10 years ago, football fans saw an avalanche of impressive young prospects make their way to NFL rosters.
We welcome you to the 2011 NFL Draft.
At Radio City Music Hall in Manhattan, the first lines were written for some of today's greatest stories.
The 2011 NFL Draft is officially open. The Carolina Panthers are on the clock.
Cam Newton was the biggest name headed into the draft. Fresh off a national championship and Heisman Trophy at Auburn, he was a no-brainer for the top pick.
He's got overwhelming presence and athletic ability. There's an awful lot to like.
Newton had no problem adjusting to the NFL, setting a quarterback record with 14 rushing touchdowns and winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. It would be a theme with him.
Newton running. Newton gets to the corner. Cam down the sideline. Cam Newton. Hesitation. Still on his feet. Cam Newton. Touchdown, Carolina. What a play.
4 seasons later, he was an MVP, leading the league in total touchdowns and guiding Carolina to a Super Bowl. There, he encountered a familiar face.
Panthers have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure, and they've gotten to him. The ball is out in the end zone, and it's recovered by Malik Jackson for the touchdown. It was Von Miller with the strip sack.
The pick after, Von Miller was an equally impressive talent. What Newton did on offense, Miller did defensively. He matched Cam's rookie honors with some of his own and got the best of Newton in Super Bowl 50 with an MVP effort.
Ball's knocked out of his hands. Von Miller again.
The Denver Broncos are world champions. They have just won Super Bowl 50.
These two joined top pick tandems like Jim Plunkett and Archie Manning in 1971, George Rogers and Lawrence Taylor in 81, and of course John Elway and Eric Dickerson in 83. Cam and Von are one of 4 pairs of top picks to win Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year. They were also the second straight combo to accomplish the feat after Sam Bradford and Ndamukong Suh did it the year before. But these two are special, being the only duo on the list to eventually meet in the Super Bowl. As for Miller, he's been among the league's top defenders for nearly a decade, with 8 Pro Bowls and 3 first-team All-Pros under his belt. To date, he has more career sacks than any other active player.
The old-time Broncos sack leader, Von Miller, gets the record on that play.
But what really sets the 2011 class apart? How about a dominant slew of first-rounders? 72 total Pro Bowl appearances among that group, the second most ever. The first 7 picks and 12 of the first 16 would all earn Pro Bowl nods. That's on par with the iconic 1981 draft, where Hall of Famers like Lawrence Taylor, Ronnie Lott, and Kenny Easley all went in the top 10. If you like pass rushers, my friends, this is the draft for you. Aldon Smith went 7th overall and looked like a surefire superstar after an All-Pro season early in his career.
Praise is brought down, and there he is. Aldon Smith, the league's leading sack man.
His 33.5 total sacks in 2011 and 2012 are the most ever in a player's first 2 seasons. Unfortunately, off-the-field issues halted him in his tracks. 4 picks later, the Texans landed a future Hall of Famer.
The Houston Texans select J.J. Watt, defensive end, Wisconsin.
6'5½", 290 pounds. He ran 4.75. This is kind of an athletic freak.
To say that J.J. Watt delivered is an understatement. Watt was arguably the best defensive player of the 2010s, garnering 5 first-team All-Pro selections. Not to mention 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards in a 4-year span.
And guess who's got it? JJ to his left, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5, touchdown! You gotta be kidding me! And this place is going crazy!
Truth be told, the only body that's been able to slow him down is his own. The former Wisconsin Badger has spent a few years dealing with injuries, but remains an all-world talent when healthy. Watt started a run on defensive ends in 2011. After he was selected by Houston, pass rushers began to fly off the board.
And Robert Quinn is as dangerous as any pass rusher in this game.
The Rams took Robert Quinn 14th overall, and he delivered in 2013 with an All-Pro season and 19 sacks. setting a franchise record later broken by Aaron Donald. Ryan Kerrigan went 2 picks later. He made 4 Pro Bowls, becoming a staple in Washington for over a decade.
Aaron Douglas lined up in the backfield. Look at that! Interception by Ryan Kerrigan! He's going in! Touchdown!
Like Kerrigan, Cam Heyward has been a consistent presence for his draft day squad. Pittsburgh's 31st pick has aged like a fine wine, netting 2 All-Pro nods and 4 Pro Bowl seasons since 2017. Oh, and speaking of Camerons, the Saints' Cam Jordan went 24th overall.
The game shut down by Cameron Jordan. A 4-sack Thanksgiving night that will take New Orleans to the NFC South title.
Jordan has terrorized NFC South quarterbacks for more than a decade, garnering a first-team All-Pro and 6 Pro Bowl nods. He has 5 seasons with 10-plus sacks and is on pace to pass Ricky Jackson as the Saints' all-time sack leader. New Orleans hit it again just 4 picks later, using their swap with New England to select running back Mark Ingram at 28. The former Heisman winner would become a 3-time Pro Bowler and the most productive back from the class of 2011.
Ingram picks up a first down and more, still going to the end zone. Touchdown, Mark Ingram.
As for the Patriots, they used picks on running backs Shane Vereen and Stephen Ridley in back-to-back rounds. Ridley rushed for over 1,200 yards and 12 scores in his second season, but both Pats runners would be out by 2015. That's when Bill Belichick landed yet another back from the class of 2011.
Underneath he goes and into the end zone for the touchdown. Sensational effort.
Taken in the 5th round of the 2011 draft, Dion Lewis saw his first dose of NFL production in 2015. The all-purpose back went on to play in 2 Super Bowls with New England. The Patriots got a healthy dose of AFC East rival Muhammad Wilkerson, taken 2 picks after Ingram in the first round. At 6'4", 315 pounds, Wilkerson was solid in his 7 years with the Mean Green, constantly crashing into opponents' backfields and reaching a Pro Bowl in 2015.
And right on Taylor right away. What a play by Muhammad Wilkerson.
Maybe the biggest bargain in the pass rush department is Justin Houston, who was plucked by the Chiefs in the 3rd round. Houston made 4 straight Pro Bowls in Kansas City. In 2014, he fell 1 sack short of setting the single-season record.
That is sack number 21 for Justin Houston. It's a new franchise record.
The 2011 draft class is the 3rd most combined sacks ever, trailing only the pass rushers selected in '83 and '84.
DeMarco Murray has passed Emmitt Smith for the best single rushing season in the history of the Dallas Cowboys.
Drafted 1 pick after Justin Houston was DeMarco Murray, who also broke out in 2014. Murray was a true workhorse for Dallas, carrying the ball 392 times for 1,845 yards and 13 touchdowns, all league highs.
Handoff Murray coming right into the middle to the 10, 5, walk the dog, touchdown Murray!
But he would never approach those numbers again, which is why we shouldn't overlook the 4 Pro Bowl blockers who helped pave the way for him that year. One of those guys was Tyron Smith, an All-Pro who spent more than a decade shoring up the offensive line in Dallas. He went 9th overall in the 2011 draft.
With the 8th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Jake Locker, quarterback, Washington.
Now we have our first shocker of the draft. Jake Locker is the 2nd quarterback taken, not Blaine Gabbert.
It wasn't a surprise that the Titans would pick a quarterback, but it was shocking they'd pick Jake Locker. Locker played just 4 years in Tennessee and was taken before highly touted Missouri passer Blaine Gabbert, who went 10th overall after Jacksonville traded up to snag him.
He's got all the tools in the world.
I like him. He makes all the throws. He will be fine under the center. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that he lasted this long to the number 10 pick.
Gabbert struggled in 5 seasons with the Jags, but has hung on as a backup with 4 other teams. The 31-year-old won a ring sitting behind Tom Brady in Tampa in 2020. 2 picks after Gabbert, we got another shocker.
The Minnesota Vikings select Christian Ponder, quarterback, Florida State.
Another big-time low moment. Christian Ponder of Florida State becomes the 4th quarterback taken in the first 12 picks.
Christian Ponder was projected to be a late first-rounder, but the Vikings took their shot with the 12th overall pick. it didn't land. And he became another first-round quarterback from 2011 to fall below expectations. Like Locker, he played just 4 injury-plagued seasons. On the flip side, Tyrod Taylor was a real steal all the way down in round 6. Drafted by Baltimore, he wouldn't really blossom until he landed in Buffalo in 2015. There, he played 3 seasons as one of the league's most accurate passers, earning a Pro Bowl nod and a trip to the playoffs. Those first-round quarterback whiffs made Arizona's 5th overall selection look brilliant.
The Arizona Cardinals select Patrick Peterson, defensive back, LSU.
And they get a ball player that might be the best player in the draft. You got Toller. You can never have enough corners in this league.
Despite needing a quarterback, the Cardinals could not pass on LSU's Patrick Peterson. Turns out they were right, as the cornerback transitioned seamlessly to the NFL with an all-pro rookie campaign.
Backpedals, takes it into 2. Trying to get outside. Turns it upfield. Patrick Peterson gets by the punter. Peterson may go all the way. He will. Patrick Peterson wins it for the Cardinals.
The stud corner made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 8 seasons. I said 8 straight Pro Bowls to start his career, and was named to the Hall of Fame's All-Decade team. 2 picks earlier, the Bills snatched Alabama D lineman Marcel DAREUS at number 3 overall. In fact, 5 of the first 6 players drafted in 2011 came from SEC schools, the second time that's ever happened in modern draft history. As for DAREUS, the 331-pound tackle plugged up the middle in Buffalo for 6.5 solid seasons. How about USC big man JURRELL Casey?
Romo brought down. Sacked by their young stud, JURRELL Casey.
He earned 5 consecutive Pro Bowl selections in Tennessee from 2015 to 2019. Casey was selected 77th overall and would play 9 years with the Titans, missing just 5 total games. All right, now back to the other side of the trenches. Center Mike Pouncey flourished in Miami, becoming the second Pro Bowl Pouncey in the league after his brother Marquise was drafted by the Steelers in 2010. The Colts took Anthony Castonzo, 22nd overall, drafting a fixture on their O-line for 10 seasons.
Play fake and then wide open. Anthony Castonzo on a tackle eligible.
We also have lineman Rodney Hudson, Ponder's teammate at Florida State. The second rounder was a Kansas City draftee, but it would eventually land in Oakland, where he'd have multiple Pro Bowl seasons in the silver and black. Colorado tackle and future 2-time Super Bowl champ Nate Solder went to New England with the 17th pick. In Super Bowl 52, New England was overpowered by an Eagles offensive line anchored by 3-time All-Pro center Jason KELCE, Philly's 6th-round selection in 2011. The Eagles got arguably the best lineman in the entire draft at pick 191.
Julio Jones is off the phone. The Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock, and the rumored trade that we've been hearing all day is about to become official.
I love this guy. What a trade they pulled off.
It'll go down as one of the most monumental draft day trades in NFL history. The Falcons went all in, and I mean all in, on Alabama receiver Julio Jones. The gamble paid off immediately as Jones scored 18 total touchdowns in his first 2 seasons.
Going deep, looking for Jones. It's triple covered, and he caught it.
Paired with young quarterback Matt Ryan, Jones grew into one of the league's elite weapons. Between 2014 and 2018, Julio averaged nearly 1,600 yards and 6 touchdowns per season, garnering 2 first-team All-Pros and 5 straight Pro Bowls. Jones was named to the Hall of Fame's All-Decade team and has more receiving yards than any player since 2011.
He just went over 300 yards receiving. 3 Bills large.
But Julio wasn't the only can't-miss receiver from this class. Teams were mesmerized by yet another SEC standout, Georgia's A.J. Green. With the number 4 overall pick, the Bengals made Green the highest drafted receiver since Calvin Johnson went to Detroit in 2007.
And this guy gives you that Randy Moss ability up the field to make plays.
Cincinnati paired Green with their second-round pick, TCU quarterback Andy Dalton. The two meshed immediately, producing the best season of any quarterback-receiver rookie duo in history. Green and Dalton combined for a record 62 receptions and 1,002 yards in the air, also connecting for 6 touchdowns.
Andy takes the snap, fakes a handoff. Andy now steps up and guns it deep downfield for A.J. Green in the end zone. Touchdown!
Baby!
Green would go on to make a Pro Bowl in each of his first 7 seasons, averaging nearly 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns. Dalton earned 3 Pro Bowls of his own, is the only quarterback to lead the Bengals to 5 straight playoff trips.
Here we go. Dalton going for it all. Tip in the air. Caught by the Bengals. A.J. Green.
Green would prove to be a constant pest for the division rival Ravens, who hoped to add to their always respectable defense with Jimmy Smith at the 27th pick. Or was it the 26th?
We're sort of in limbo. That Baltimore may have passed.
Did they get a pick in time, or did they slide?
Baltimore didn't turn their card in.
Due to serious war room confusion, follow this. Time expired on Baltimore, allowing the Chiefs to swoop in before them.
With the 26th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jonathan Baldwin. With the 27th pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Jimmy Smith.
So Jimmy Smith goes to the Ravens, but with the 27th pick, it does appear that the Ravens passed. But Jimmy Smith is the guy, I guess, that they wanted anyway, so no harm, no foul.
And speaking of Smiths, Baltimore also landed receiver Torrey Smith later in round 2. Just a year later, Baltimore was in the Super Bowl against the 49ers and their red-hot quarterback.
As Kaepernick forced outside and taken off. Inside the 10, Kaepernick's in for the touchdown. Wow, did he get there in a hurry?
Colin Kaepernick came just 5 yards short of punctuating his remarkable sophomore season with a Lombardi trophy. Picked in the 2nd round of the 2011 draft, Cap didn't see much of the field until replacing an injured Alex Smith in 2012. From there, he would embark on one of the most improbable runs in recent memory. The dual-threat quarterback led San Francisco to a division crown before making history in his first career playoff start.
Kaepernick keeps it. Fooled everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Against Green Bay in the divisional round, Kaepernick had more rushing yards than any quarterback in postseason history. That game also featured wideout Randall Cobb taking a few picks after Torrey Smith in round 2. The Kentucky speedster would be a welcome addition to the defending champs, making his presence felt with authority his rookie year.
And from 8 yards back, Cobb is going to bring it back. And the rookie breaking tackles on his way into Saints territory. And the 2nd round draft choice goes all the way for a touchdown.
There's no doubt the Packers and 49ers bolstered their roster through the 2011 draft. But we have to talk about the Seahawks. They struck gold in the late rounds. Tackle machine KJ Wright fell to them in the 4th round. Then they stole Stanford's Richard Sherman in the 5th round. Corner Byron Maxwell dropped into their lap in the 6th. And future Super Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith was a 7th round pick. Oh, and don't forget about Doug Baldwin, who wasn't drafted at all in 2011.
4-man rush, pressure put on, and a one-handed grab by Doug Baldwin.
Baldwin played 8 seasons, all with the Seahawks. He ranks 2nd all-time in franchise touchdown catches. Wright has been a mainstay at outside linebacker, playing 10 seasons and earning a Pro Bowl trip in 2016. We mentioned Malcolm Smith's MVP, but don't forget about his game-sealing interception that sent Seattle to the Super Bowl.
Ball is picked up and afterwards, it's picked off in the end zone. Richard Sherman tips it.
As for Richard Sherman, he speaks for himself.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
And I mean, he actually does speak for himself. And man, does he back it up. The cornerstone of Seattle's historic Legion of Boom defense, Sherman has played like a guy who had 153 other players chosen before him. To date, his 36 interceptions are the most for any active player.
Shell's got to get rid of it. The ball is picked up. It's Richard Sherman. He's going to go down the far sidelines. Are you kidding me? Nobody's going to touch him. 10-5. Touchdown, Seahawks.
You can see how Seattle went from 5-11 in 2009 to Super Bowl champs in 2013. While Pete Carroll and his staff nailed their draft haul, they did miss out on another sleeper DB. Actually, the entire league did.
Going left, and it's intercepted by Chris Harris, who's all the way home. What a comeback for the Broncos.
Undrafted corner Chris Harris Jr. eventually signed with Denver, locking down the opposition for the better part of a decade. Harris made 4 Pro Bowls with the Broncos and was named first-team All-Pro in 2016. This guy's undrafted. Harris and Aqib Talib led Denver's no-fly zone secondary en route to a win in Super Bowl 50. Let's jump to the 4th round in 2011, where the Broncos added tight end Julius Thomas. Barely seeing the field his first 2 seasons, Thomas exploded in 2013.
Lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas. There's the record.
The big tight end amassed 24 total TDs from 2013 to 2014, becoming one of Peyton Manning's favorite targets. But the standard bearer from 2011's tight end pool was Kyle Rudolph. As reliable as they come, the Notre Dame product was both a punishing blocker and one of the surest receivers in the league. His 48 touchdown receptions are tied with Travis KELCE for 3rd most by a tight end since 2011.
Can he one-handed? Yes! Touchdown!
So where will the class of 2011 end up when it's all said and done? Could it be the greatest ever? We mentioned 1983 with Elway, Marino, Dickerson, Darrell Green, and many, many more. 1961's class had Tarkenton, Ditka, Bob Lilly, and Deacon Jones. Anybody into 1989? 4 Hall of Famers in the first 5 picks, including Aikman, Barry, and Dion. And do not forget 2007 with Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, Megatron, and Darrelle Revis.
The 2011 draft is the #1 draft of all time. This is an entire all-generation team.
The legacy's still being written, but man, what a collection. You name it, this group had it. MVPs, Super Bowl heroes, all-time greats. So let's raise a toast. Let's show respect. Let's give some love to 10 years of spectacular plays, dominant performances, and purely legendary moments from the class of 2011.